We are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, South Florida, and hello, world. I am Robert Henderson Jr., President, Founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida, full service financial planning firm. We've been in business for over 30 years. And joining me here is my co-host, my brother from another mother. Hadn't seen him in a while, but hey, happy to see him. Boy, it's like joy, 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 peace and happiness.
I
Know
missed
that
you,
things
Rob.
gonna be okay with James T.
Hey, man, good to be with you. Good to be back, boy. Hey, Rob, I love, I have that joy today because when you go through something to
Oh yeah.
get to something, even if it's just a piece, you know, it's really good. Shouts out to Antonio. I heard you say good morning to him as well. Shouts out to him. We were together yesterday for
Yeah, I called him.
a
He
brief,
told me he was helping you. Y'all was doing
yeah.
some things, getting it
Oh
done.
man, brief period of time, getting some things done, man. Hey, you've been a traveling man for the past couple of
Ooh,
weeks here. What's up?
man, I've been on the level and on the square. I've been a traveling
Ooh, stop, Rob, stop. Hey, don't get called out. Don't get called.
man.
I used to
I've
have to
been
tell Craig Lock. I used to have to tell Craig Lock that when he was just throw out certain little things, and all of a
yeah.
sudden there would come a knock at the door. And say, y'all all right up in there? But it's
Traveling
really
man.
good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. But it's been good. Uh, as a matter of fact, my and I know you got your thing ready for today, but in my study today, man, it's just been so Rob that we really, like I said, as we go through things and as we handle things and as we get the result of what we're dealing with, we really do. Well, for me, I really do find out that it's not so much quote unquote it or them, it's us. It's
Yes.
how we perceive it, how we handle it, and how we allow quote unquote that greater that's in us to deal with. I mean, when you face things, oftentimes we get worried, we get fearful, we get angry, we go through all these emotions when we really don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we
It's
really
always us.
it's always us. It's always going back. I don't know if I brought that up a few weeks back, but I've been dealing with transformation and how we say we want to transform others. We want to get other people to get it, quote, supposedly, as if we've got it. We don't have it. We may have something, but we don't have it because there's more to it than just what we have. And rather than wanting Robert to get it or Robert wanting James to get it, what James and Robert can do is to become all that they can be so that James and Robert can see that, whoa, there's more to it than I thought, man. There's more to it than I thought. So now we're growing. And I saw a thing on one of the social platforms. I think it was Shay Shay, where he had this gentleman on, and the question just popped up, and he said, "Would you like to live forever?" So the gentleman's answer was, "Oh no, 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 no! I would like to live forever." He said, "What do you mean? Methuselah and all?" He said, "No, no, 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 no." And then he explained how he said, "My purpose is to get what I can get today, so I can give what I got tomorrow to someone else so
Oh
that
man, that's
they."
pretty good.
Oh, Rob, isn't that something? Isn't that powerful? He said, so, and so he says, he used the example of, he said, I really don't like to get and pay it back. I like to get and pay it forward. He
Not
said that,
back but forward,
that
right?
right, but forward, that creates a stream. And Shay said, "Oh man, I want my $500 back. If I give you $500," he said, "Wait. what if that? What if that person found someone that had a need and they paid it forward? You what you just did was created a stream, a river, a flow, and it keeps going to and it keeps going through, and other people can, hey." hopefully they'll have the attitude of paying it forward. And you do a great job at that. I salute you, my brother.
Well, hey, I try to, every day I learn, and I'm so excited about learning. I've dedicated my life to learning, and I love it. So it keeps me busy. I'm always inquisitive, and I'm always looking for better, good, better, best. I really never let them rest until my good become my better, and my better become my best, and that keeps me active and keeps me concentrated on Robert and becoming all I could be. My prayer is, God, help me to be all that I can be.
Mm.
And that right there, when you pray, your prayer is that, Lord God, please help me to be all I can be. There's always something to do.
Rob, always, and something to deal. People who are close to us, those ones that we love and we put our arms around sometimes. Yeah, hey, Rob, they don't get how we do what we do or why we
No,
do what we do. They
no,
really don't
no.
get it. But if they stop for a moment and look at how we get that we're able to give, they would say, "Well, no, you just work hard." No, 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 no. I don't just work hard. We don't. Oh, you always doing this and you're always doing it. Yeah, but hey, I give, and it is given, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Therefore, you can receive of that I receive based on that I give.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems simple, but it's hard for a lot of people, James,
To get it,
to
to
get it,
get it, to
to get
get
it,
it, to get it.
to get it,
Yeah.
to get it.
Yeah, man. So what's on the plate today,
Well,
sir?
today's sermon, I'm going to talk about annuities and understanding annuities, and what part and what place does that play in one's life. And I think it has a place in most of our lives once I explain you how they work. Uh, but today I want to recap on yesterday. It was a big day in history in terms of this thing. Elon Musk IPO, initial public offering, called SpaceX, took off, and Elon Musk became the first human to become a trillionaire with that initial public offering. The stock, it went up. It was up $40 at one point, 40 points, $40 a share. It wound up being around $25, something like that, up a share. But it made a lot of people excited. A lot of people called me and said, "Hey, Rob, can I get it on the bandwagon?" I say, well, every time a new public offering comes out, it always shoots up the hype, but then it comes back down, and you can always, get it later if you want to get it for long term. But I saying that to say this, that you can't really miss a blessing. You really can't. What's for you is for you. And it's amazing, James, how the system that we live in, the capitalist system that we live in America, the income inequality is widening wider. You have people that it's going to get closer to the haves and the have-nots. We've been saying this for decades, but now you can kind of see it even more now, that the rich are getting rich and the poor are getting poor. The middle class is still getting crushed. But what's amazing about me is that the people are not in the streets. In other words, people are still not. I don't know. I don't get it, because nothing really changes in life until we, you, I, me, us, until we change it. So you always gonna get pressure. You're always gonna get taken advantage of until you stand up and say, "No more, no more, no more." And that's just the way life is. You have to. You can't ask for it. You gotta do it, man. You gotta be proactive. Nobody's gonna give you anything for nothing. Although we still live in society that most people want to get something for nothing, and still haven't figured out that you have to do the work or put the time in order to get something really good. With that said, what that's saying is the market has done pretty well over the last 10 years. A lot of people, investments, have done very well. But as I always said, there's always going to be a pullback. It's always going to be a pullback. And they're predicting this pullback is going to be pretty tough on people. They wanted, which we thought that interest rates was going to come down, but now inflation has came up. So now it's going to be hard to lower interest rates. As a matter of fact, it's it's a good, it may be good situation to increase interest rates, which will hurt the people who with lesser money. It will hurt them a great deal, and things will go on sale in terms of the rich can get even richer. Uh, I don't know what it's going to take for people to start paying attention and stop spending all their money on just stuff that they don't really need. I just don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for people to start tightening up and preparing for their own personal lives and benefits for their lives, and stop buying and spending unnecessary frivolous stuff that fades away. I don't know, but my job at the Henderson Financial Group is to help educate you about the tools that you can use to have yourself more equipped and more and better in a better financial situation in the days to come. Because I think that, you know, there are going to be some tough times, and you do have to have something. You can't, you know, God has made us to have dominion over the animals and the things in the sea, everything, mankind. And we have to really start acting like it. You know, a squirrel cannot be better than us. What I mean by that, even a squirrel eats some nuts and saves some nuts. We as human, we got to be better than that. We can outthink a squirrel. We can't just keep eating all our nuts every time we get paid, eating them all and don't have nothing for later, because cycles come and we're getting ready to come up on another cycle. So I don't want you guys to be out here just spending just for the hell of spending and buying stuff that fades away, because you're going to need it in the days coming. I'm just telling you that. Mark my words. I don't like doom and gloom, but you know, we will get past this. But you definitely want to be as sharp and be attentive as you possibly can, and you want to seek help. You know, you do want to get financial coaching. That's what we provide at the Henderson Financial Group, because a lot of people just don't know that they don't know what they don't know, and it's amazing. One of the things here that I want to talk about, and I had talked about this last month, but Monday. The day is the 13th, tomorrow's the 4th. On the 15th, it'll be June 15th. It's the deadline to call the Henderson Financial Group to sign up and make your reservations to be able to get 52% match on any money you put in to a retirement plan, an annuity. Okay, it's an insurance company. They're giving a 52% match. What that means is for every dollar you put in, they'll put in 52 cents. That's pretty darn good. So, I mean, if you put in $100,000, then they're going to give you 52,000 on top of that. That's a pretty good deal. Now, you don't have to have the money by Monday, but you just have to call and register your name and your position. It's kind of like how you want to tonight, James. If you and I want to go to a restaurant, we can call, make a reservation, give us the table at 7:00. Now, if we don't make it, then after 15 minutes, they give the table away. But it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to put up credit cards or anything. There should be a lot of people calling tomorrow at the Henderson Financial Group and say, I want to make a reservation for this 52% annuity that I can get. And I don't have to come. I don't have to decide until 6 months from now. That's pretty good. James, that's pretty good. If we call a restaurant and say, listen, we want to reserve this a table at this restaurant, and we want to be there 7:00 tonight. But if we don't be there 7:00 tonight, we want to reserve our table for 7:00 for the next 6 months. So if we don't come tonight, that's okay. They ain't gonna give a table away. We got 6 months to go and to go and make that reservation, but they're not gonna give it up. We know every Saturday for 6 months, whether we go or not, that table is ours. That's pretty darn good, don't you think?
I think it is, Rob. I think it's a great opportunity because, hey, nowadays, making reservations, you're talking to AI. You're not even talking to it.
Yeah, that's more of that to come.
Rob, everywhere, everything. We're not dealing with humans anymore. In so many situations.
More.
So when you can get an opportunity to assure yourself of having that reservation, I think that's great.
Yes, and that's an annuity. So let me tell you why do I like annuities? Now, some of you all listen to Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman or Fisher, Ken Fisher, and they talk about don't buy annuities. Now, let me tell you why they say that. They're not really talking about the annuities I'm talking about. They're talking about those variable annuities, the annuities that you don't know that go up and down with the stock market, that goes up, goes down, it fluctuates. That's the annuity they're talking about. Don't buy it. And the reason why I don't buy them either, those type of annuities, the variable annuities, because it's very unpredictable. On top of that, there's a lot of internal hidden fees, anywhere from 2.5% to 3.5% annually that the clients pay, not knowingly, because they don't really disclose that, but it's in the fine print. That's why I don't like variable annuities. But the variable annuities give regular fixed index annuities or just fixed annuities or MYGAs, multi-year annuities, a bad rap. So when Ken Fisher or Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey talking about don't buy annuities, they really don't explain the type of annuities not to buy. Because them themselves, we find out they personally put their money in fixed guaranteed principal annuities. They don't put their money in variable annuities. And I don't either. I don't even recommend variable annuities to clients because there are too many moving parts with variable annuities. They're tied to the stock market. And if you're going to buy a stock market, just buy stocks. Don't buy a variable annuity with all those fees attached to it. What I'm talking about is the difference, the fixed annuities. I'll give you a perfect example. Right now, a lot of clients saying, man, they don't trust the stock market because it's very high and it's very volatile and they don't want to lose a penny. And they don't want to go into an annuity for the next next 10 years or 7 years or 10 years. They don't want to have their money tied up. Well, there are annuities that similar to like CDs where you can put in $10,000 and right now they'll pay you 5.5%. Some pay you 6% guaranteed principal. So if you put in $10,000 today, James, and you say, I want this $10,000 to be in there for 3 years, and it's going to pay me 6% guaranteed. You can't lose a penny. They're going to pay you 6% guaranteed. And the good thing about it is that 6% that they pay you, you don't have to pay tax on it until you withdraw the money. So if you do a 3-year a MYGA, where you put in your principal, 100,000, they're gonna pay you 6%. Then that means that the interest that 6%, that's $6,000 on 100,000 that you're receiving, you don't have to report it to the IRS every year. You only have to report it when you get ready to take the money out. Unlike CDs, if you put $100,000 in a CD and they say they're gonna pay you 4%. Even if you don't take it out, if it's a 5-year CD or 3-year CD, every year you still got to declare the interest on your income taxes. That's why wealthy people that know, they would, rather than buying a CD, they would buy a MYGA, a short-term multi-year annuity where you get your principal back. Some people they don't understand annuities, how they work, but they work differently. It depends on what you need. Now, that 6% in Florida, you can't get 6%. In Florida, the state of Florida approved where you can get like 5.45%, which is still good. So if I put in $100,000 and I'm gonna get 5.45%, that means I'm getting $5,450 annually, and I'm not paying any tax on it. And then next year, I'm gonna get another $5,450, and I ain't got to pay tax on it. And the next year, you follow me? That's pretty good. If you was putting $100,000 in a bank CD, whether you take the money or not, you got to declare that and you got to pay income tax on it. That's the difference. So that's a fixed principal guaranteed annuity. That's called MYGA, multi-years. You can get one for 1 year. It pays a little less. You can get one for 2 years. You can get one for 3 years. Hell, you can get one for 10 years. And the principal, you get it all back. I just did one for a guy. He put in $500,000 and he wants it for 5 years. Man, that's some good stuff. He gonna get his $500,000 back, but while it's in there, all the interest and everything that's in there, he don't pay any tax on it. He could take the interest and say, hey, I want them to pay me monthly instead of giving my interest at the end of the year or having it build up into the plan. He can get it to pay a car note. It's a lot of wonderful things what you can do with annuities. But what I like about them is certainty. It's certain. You know what you're gonna get.
Rob, you bring up a great point, and I'm glad because it did like that to me. Going back to that, doing a certain thing a certain way, and I was sharing, how when people, because people call me all the time, and I'm not the guru. I said, hey, you need to call and make an appointment, you know, so that he he can ask you all the questions that he needs to ask about what you want to do, and then he can tell you the best way for you to do it based on how you stand, whatever your situation is. I said after he get does this MRI with you, and what you just said is, you know, based on what a person's desire is and what they're trying to do, they could call and get this information so you can share with them how they can best benefit and still get what they want.
That's right. But you got to call.
Yeah.
You got to make one step. You got to be proactive. You got to be inquisitive. You got to say, I want to know. You follow me?
Yeah, right. Yes, yeah. Or even if they want to say, here's what I want to do. Now, I want to be assured that what I want to do and how I want to do it and why I want to do it, why it's best for me. Can you tell me that, Mr. Henderson? And you may say, well, do you know about this annuity that's available to you that could get you what you need and benefit you in a way where you can, quote unquote, grow your money, where your money can grow and you can take care of that desire that you have all at the same time.
Yeah.
Doing a certain thing a certain way.
But you got to ask and listen, just like I said, tomorrow, on Monday is the last day to get a 52% match. You need a minimum $20,000, okay? Minimum. But you could put the reservation in. If you don't have $20,000 now, you can say, listen, I will have it in 6 months. So let me put my reservation in. So when I do put the 20,000 in, they're going to match it 52% more on that 20,000. Now, is that annuity, that one right there, is that good for everyone? No. It depends on if you can have money set aside for the next 10 years to grow. Now, some people say that's too long. Well, it's too long if you're going to be dead. That's, but it's not too long if you're still going to be alive. Let me give you a perfect example. Here it is, 2026. What if you would have put some money away in 2016? Can y'all remember 2016? It wasn't that far. It was 10 years ago. What if you have put some money away, that money that you spent on that cruise or you spent $10,000, trying to do something and it didn't work out. What if you'd had that $10,000 in a plan and since 2016 and now it's 2026, 10 years later, and they tell you, what that $10,000 is worth now? It's worth $100,000. You would have said, oh my God, I wish I would have did that earlier. Do you know we're right here, 2026? 10 years going to fly by if you're still going to be alive. And if you're not alive, hell, you're even better off, probably.
Hopefully.
You don't have to worry about nothing, all right? You don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about traffic. So when you say 10 years is too long for what? Are you going to be dead? Are you going to be alive? 10 years is not too long for a tree to grow. If you got to really have a good, firm, rooted tree, you need 10 years. So y'all, a lot of y'all don't have nice shrubbery, nice landscape. The reason why y'all don't have it because y'all want to wait 10 years for it to become beautiful. But I tell you something, all the beautiful neighborhoods have a lot of greenery, has a lot of trees, have lakes. That took more than 10 years to develop. That's 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. That's how it became so beautiful. That's how wealth grows. Wealth don't go short time. Wealth don't grow in tomorrow. Wealth takes a while to grow. So that's why you need time. Listen. As I was saying, that annuity that I'm talking about, deadline where you can put in your reservation, you don't need no money. You can put the money in 6 months from now. Let's say you're 50 years old and you have some money set aside. Matter of fact, I had a lady came here yesterday. She had $300,000. Now she had this $300,000. Now she started with $100,000 and her it went to $300,000. We put it in stocks and investment for her. And she said, Mr. Henderson, I'm getting a little worried because that 100,000 now turning 300,000. She said, where can I put it where I can't lose that 200,000 profit? I said, I got just the thing for you. I said, let me sign you up for this 52% bonus. We're going to take $200,000 and we're going to put it into the 52% bonus. We take the $200,000 at the winnings in the stock market. We're going to put it in another asset. That 200,000, they're going to give you another 100,000 on top of that, guaranteed. I said, do you need the money? She said, Mr. Henderson, I'm retired. I'm thinking more about my grandkids. I'm thinking about my children. They're making it so hard. She said, I'm retired. I don't need no money. I get my pension. I get my Social Security. My house paid off. She says, I don't need no money, but I want to have this for the kid. I say, well, rather than having that 100,000, which we turned it into 300,000, you want to take the 200,000 and put it into safe haven where you can't lose anything. When you put it into this annuity, they're going to give you another $100,000 on top of that. Now that's called wealth transfer. That's wealth. So you don't pay any tax on it. It's going to grow over the next 10 years. But if she died next year, guess what? All of the money going to come to her grandkids. That's a smart strategy. She's going to make sure that she don't leave. That's called wealth building. Now, some of you all that's 45 years old, you could really wait 10 years. You really can, because you're going to be around, hopefully. So then you want to take advantage of getting a match, not a 3% match, not a 10% match, but a 52% match, whatever money you put in there. And then whatever money you put in there, after you put it in there, 18 months later, with any money you put in, $1,000, they're going to match it 52%. That's incredible. So that's that type of annuity. Then another lady came in and she said, Robert, okay, I'm getting ready to retire in 3 years. I want to roll over $200,000. Can I get the 52% match? I said, that's not for you. She said, why? I said, because you want money in 2 years. Here's another annuity that you can put in 200,000, and in 2 years, it's going to pay you $20,000 or $1,600 a month, guaranteed for the rest of your life. No stock market, save. She said, why can't I get the 52% annuity? I said, because you need money in 2 years. This is money, 52% is money that you want to set in there for at least 10 years. So if you got 10 years, oh, you can make a lot of money. But if you need money short term, 2 years, then I got something else for you. You follow me? So, but the reason why I like annuities is because you can't lose a penny. Let me tell you something. There's more wealth to be had in not losing money than taking a chance of making some money. Does that make sense? In other words, you don't want to have a cup and you trying to make money, but it got holes in it. What you save and what you keep, a lot of people is wasting money unnecessarily and not even knowing how they're wasting money. That's why it's important to come to Henderson Financial Group so we can help you to understand how to best yourself. You know,
because of what your needs may be. Because, Rob, if you just stop for a minute and said, well, hey, what are my basic needs now? And am I protected in case I have health issues, or in case this happens or that happens, insurance? So, hey, man, we really do need to have a better assessment of where we are and what it is we want. And how do we get to that next place and maximize the value?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was talking to this one girl who's a private duty nurse. She only do nursing for wealthy people. And she has one right now where they're paying her $300,000 a year, and she's taking care of this wealthy man. And after, I guess, he died, whatever, she got to get another wealthy one. But she's 58 years old. And she says, Robert, in 7 years, when I'm 65, I don't want to work no more. So I said, okay, you're making $300,000 a year. So I looked and said, how much you have saved? She have $350,000 saved. I say, so in 5 years, your $350,000 right now is in the stock market. I said, so let me explain something to you. The stock market is what we hope to happen. The stock market is what we think will happen. The stock market is what we believe is going to happen. The stock market is what we wish to happen. That's what the stock market is. The stock market is all faith. The stock market is designed to be volatile. When you can't count on that 100%, that that's going to be there in 5 years. That money going to be a whole lot more. We don't know that. We hope it is. We believe it is. We think it is. We wish it is. But stuff happens all the time. That's why they call it surprise. that's when you say I didn't know. Now, if you need to really know for certain, we can't put all your marbles in the stock market because we really don't know. Merrill Lynch don't know. Morgan Stanley don't know. Wells Fargo, Wealth Management, nobody knows. People talking on TV, they don't know. They don't know. Because if they would have known, all of them would be billionaires. We don't know. Listen, there's some stocks that I bought, and I bought for clients 5 years ago that went up 1,000%. Now, had Robert Henderson knew that stock was going to go up 1,000%, I'd have been walking around here butt naked. Why? Because I'd have sold everything. I'd have sold my house. I'd have sold everything if I would have known that.
For sure.
But I didn't know. You follow me? Now I'm telling y'all the God's heaven truth. I'd have been walking around here just with a sheet on because I would have invested everything that I had if I knew 5 years ago this thing was going to go up 10 times. So that means 100,000 to be worth $1 million, you know? 500,000 to be worth $5 million. If I would have known that in 2021, if I'd have put everything, I tell you, I've been walking around here with a sheet on, but I did not know. That's how it is when you invest in the stock market. But if you say, Robert, I need to know what this going to be 5 years from now, then you got to be on the insurance side. Whether it's annuity, whether it's a MIGA, it has to be insurance side tells you exactly if you do this what you will get. But you got to have the commitment. You got to, if you want to plan, I can tell you, listen, if you are 55 years old and you say you need to live off $10,000 a month and you got 7 years to do it, I can tell you to the penny how much money you should be putting away each month. Now, it's up to you to say, oh, yeah, I could do that. Or it's up to you to say, nah, I can't do that. Let's stretch it out into 8 years. Then we'll make it. But I tell you one thing, I can tell you exactly how much you need to invest, how much you're going to earn, not with the stock market. In insurance, we can tell you exactly your path, exactly what you need to do. It's like if you do certain amount of push-ups, if you do certain amount of curls, I can tell you when you're going to start seeing results. I can tell you. It's a science when you deal with insurance. We can tell you. It ain't no hocus pocus. Ain't no lottery. Ain't no, whoa, look what happened. That's the stock market. But when you say, listen, I want to know, then you're dealing with insurance. I tell you, even real estate. Real estate is also what we think, what we believe, what we hope. If you think about it, because there's property that I bought in a certain area 10, 15 years ago. I did not know that them same properties quadrupled in. Again, if I'd have known that they was going to quadruple, I'd have bought the whole block. But I didn't know because, again, real estate is what we think, what we hope, what we believe, what we wish to happen. I mean, we don't know. But if you want to know, you got to be in the insurance side. It has to be insured, guaranteed. Listen, it's like if you have a car and you don't have no insurance on it. You don't know when somebody gonna hit you. You can go inside the store, come out, go into Publix or Winn-Dixie or Walmart or Costco, come out, and somebody done backed into your car and left. And you don't have no insurance. So you don't know when it's gonna happen. But if you got insurance, if they back into your car, you know you can get it fixed because you know it's not what you hope, what you think, you believe. Ain't nobody gonna hit my car. You don't know that. So what do you want? What do you want? Do you want to have certainty? Do you want to have a plan? And James, a lot of people are walking around here with no plan. They just running from the car. They're not in the stock market. They're not in the insurance. They walking around here with 5 kids. They don't have no life insurance, no burial insurance. They just out here just living like a squirrel. What kind of mindset is that?
Remind me of the OJs, living for the weekend.
living for the weekend. That's so irresponsible. And you trying to figure out why ain't I better off?
Okay.
Where's your thoughts? What do you think?
What do you do? What are you doing daily to be better?
Yeah.
Daily. What are you doing rather than well, hey, 6 months from now, or by Christmas, I'll do this, and it's almost like I'm gonna eat everything I want to, and I'm gonna eat multiple times a day, and then hey, New Year's when it comes January 1, I'm gonna change my resolution, but I'm gonna be overweight. I'm gonna have high blood pressure. I'm gonna have all these illnesses if I don't take care of myself starting today.
Yes,
Taking
man.
care, understanding money, taking care of your finances, calling the Henderson Financial Group so that you can say, wait a minute, here's what I'm thinking, but help me, to show me there's because I believe one thing I believe, Rob, there's a better way. There's always a better way, and there's always another way. You know,
Yes.
because I can say, hey, Rob, I'm coming to the office. Ways can tell me their way, but I know other ways. I know how to get on the expressway. I know how to, if I want to have a view, I know multiple ways of doing it. But now, if I have a timeline, maybe I need some advice, and so maybe I can ask, seek, and I can knock.
So James, do you believe that each and every one of us, everyone who's watching this program, listening to this program, do you believe the saying that each and every one of us are where we are in life financially is because of our thinking, our thoughts?
No
Do you
question.
believe that? Do you believe each and every one, nobody can hide from this principle? Do you believe everybody financially is where they are, net worth wise, savings and investment wise? Do you believe that each and every one of us are where we are in
Yes.
life as a result of our thinking
Right. Because
and our
most of
actions?
that's what I was going to say. Most of us, we act based on what we think, and we don't do research, Rob. I mean, come on. Yeah, for a lifetime, we knew better that those books that we read, or wait, I shouldn't say that. Those things that we were taught, were not truth. You know, Rob, you can't tell me. And I use this example when I went to the school, little middle school, and asked the kids about. I mean, these were kids. This was years ago. Who discovered America? And they said Christopher Columbus. I said, who was here when they arrived? And they said the Indians. And the little kid, black kid, as I walked down the aisle, said, I always had a problem with that. Wow, what am I think, wait a minute, but if I said, have you heard about the Moors? Moors, they'd have probably said, no, but we were in school. So again, everything that we're told and everything that we're taught, that's why, Rob, I could believe that this is a good investment. But what do I do? Yo, Rob, when you finish the day, give me a call on your way home. I'm thinking about something,
Yes.
but hey, but because I'm thinking about it, I want to ask someone that I believe can advise me. Well, hey, James, if you want to do that, you might want to do this. Or what are we planning to do in the next 2 years, 3 years? Where are we going? And how do we get to where we're going? Not just to try to put it on that timeline. I want to be ready before the timeline. So what can I do? What can I do? What I can do is I can call and I can say, how do I plan for this? But you got to be honest with yourself too. Where am I? Because
Yes.
a lot of people, Rob, they want to do things, but they won't tell the truth about where they are.
Well,
they won't.
and
They,
a
they
lot
won't. They
yeah, a
won't
lot of
say
people
they've got that second mortgage.
yeah, they don't want to. Most people don't want to have internal X-ray.
Right, right. No,
They don't want to
no,
get
right.
an
They,
MRI.
that's nobody's business but mine. Well, wait a minute. But
Yeah,
you want to grow and you want to do more and you want, so and you want to be prepared. Man, come on, Doc. I don't care.
you know,
Uh, Musk can be a quadruple trillionaire. What do I care? You know, hey, how am I doing? How's my family doing? I don't have to be a trillionaire, billionaire, million, whatever it is, whatever near it is. You know, hey, what you want to do is you want to do what you can best do for yourself and those that you love. And of course, hey, you should really want to be a blessing to others, whether it's to your family or to someone else. Because once you get that information, as we tell them on the program, Rob, once you get it, share it. If it worked for you. I I would hope that the lady who looked and said, "Oh my goodness, you know, I went from 100,000 to $300,000." You know, I wonder, did she tell anybody that I went to the Henderson Financial Group and I met this gentleman, Robert Henderson, and he shared with me how I could invest this money, and now I want to do this. And now I'm in a position where I can say, I really don't need anything. Yeah.
yeah,
So I want to
yeah,
I want to prepare for my children or my grandchildren. I want to
yes,
give them, and believe me, they need the financial literacy as well, because if you give it to them, they didn't earn it, they didn't work for it. How are they going to handle it once they get it? Because they
yes.
need to check in with the Henderson Financial Group to say, okay, my grandmother or my mother or my father left me this. How can I build upon that I've been given, but yet and still be able to do those things that I envision or that I dream of?
So James, let me ask you something. What if I told you that, which I read this study? They said that the average house in a very good, nice neighborhood where there's not a lot of crime, good schools, um, a neighborhood where most people would want to live in. What if I told you 20 years from now, the average neighborhood like that, the house is going to be minimum $1 million? That's what they cost. Now listen to me. I'm going to say it again
Go
now.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's 2026 that we're living in right now. We're on this tape, on this video, on this YouTube, on this Facebook. It's 2026. Matter of fact, it's June 13, 2026. What if I told you 20 years from now, June 13, 2046, normacy, the average house in America that's in a very nice neighborhood that you would want to live in. I'm not talking about rich. I'm just saying a very nice neighborhood that you'd want to live in, the average house. It's going to cost minimum $1 million. And just think about that. I want you to think about that, because the reason why I can tell you this, and when I read that, I believe it, because check this out. I bought a property in the year 2000, and I paid $360,000 for that house. That same house, no addition, no nothing, neighborhood, is worth $2 million. How in the heck can you spend $360,000 and in 26 years the same value is $2 million? So that goes to tell you right now, 20 years from now, if you buy a house that's in a decent, good neighborhood, that house can cost $1 million 20 years from now. So in other words, think about this. You buy a house right now for $400,000. You say that ain't, it's okay. But in 20 years from now, the value of that house is going to be $1 million. Listen, that's why they say a lot of wealthy people have made a lot of money in real estate. But I don't want you to miss what I'm saying. I want you, I want you to understand what I just said. But more important, I know y'all thought about, y'all say it's gonna be worth $1 million. Listen, a $400,000, $500,000 house is gonna be worth $1 million. But I don't want y'all to miss the most important thing that I said, not the number. What I didn't talk about was TIME. That's the booster. Time. That's what most people miss. I talked about 20 years from now, and the average person who don't have a vision is allergic. They hate when you start talking about 5 years, 10 years, 20. They don't want to hear that. They say that take too long. But that is the secret sauce, baby. Nobody wants to hear about that. If you tell somebody, listen, I want you to go study to be a doctor. How much time do it take? Oh, it take too long. I want you to study to go be an engineer. Oh, that take too much time. I want you, oh, it take too much time to do that. It take too much time. That's all you got. That's the most precious thing you got, baby. It's time. But you're thinking about the end results first. You got to see the time. If you want that beautiful neighborhood with nice trees and lakes and all that, it takes TIME, time. And most poor people, most people that want something for nothing, they're allergic to time. That's why they're going and scratching off and doing the lotto, quick, quick, quick. But that's the quick and the dead thinking. No, the church say amen, man. I got to get through to my people. I got to get through to my people. Oh, it hurts me now. People don't understand.
Hey, Rob,
I
you don't
see
even have
Broadway.
to go.
I see Broadway on here saying, amen. Now, Broadway, hey,
Wow.
what? That brother understand TIME,
Rob,
time.
check. There was a gentleman, and I won't call his name, but I did an event in the area of Liberty City. I used to do the annual Christmas thing, and so I was having a chat with a prominent person in the area, and he said, "JT, we were talking about investments and things like that." He said, "Oh, man, that's all I've been doing. I know what they're gonna do." He said, "I've got 15 lots." 15 lots in this area. Rob,
Where
listen
you got
to
50
listen.
lots? Where in Miami?
Yes,
In
in
Miami?
Liberty City. I was on.
What?
I think the address we were on was on 15. He said, "Rob,
You sure I ain't?
what
Hey,
people?"
you sure I ain't Broadway? Shoot.
I'm not calling any name, but it's not. It's not him. Very prominent
Okay,
person. Everybody would know him
okay,
if I call his name. But the
okay.
fact was, Rob, I'm saying to people, I was saying to myself, the fact is, at one time, particularly with people of color, we only had where we lived. We could, hey, Rob, you couldn't even go and buy in that quote unquote uh, neighborhood that you wish you would live in, that you would ride down, what it was, A1A or Biscayne at that time back in the day. As a matter of fact, you weren't supposed to be across that bridge in Dade County after dark, unless you had a card, you were an employee. But my thing is this: when you talk about time right now, those people who live there, one of the most populated zip codes in Dade County, where people of color lived, is an area where they live no more because of time. And because if you were on that quote unquote government, whatever programs, you had to go wherever you could get, your living, your needs met or whatever. And now it's a totally different area. The highest elevated area in all of Dade County was an area where our Haitian brothers and sisters called Little Haiti at one time. And they did the infrastructure. So these are things that we can watch that's happening. Like I always tell people, gentrification is not a bad word. It's not a bad word. It's who's doing the gentrifying. We didn't gentrify, Rob. We did not gentrify where, quote unquote, in our I forget the brothers, Claude Anderson, Dr. Claude Anderson. Oh man, I could sit at that brother's feet, man. I used to sit talk with him from 11 p.m. at night to 1 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday nights on a program called Hot Talk. And what he was sharing was how we as a people did not value where we were, because if we did, what we would have done is what so many other cultures have done. We would have kept elevating our area. But we did. But Rob, going back to what you said, hey, it doesn't have to even be that 360,000. Man, in our lifetimes, we know our parents lived in places where where a new home, a brand new home, would be $20,000, and now they're being sold for 600 and 700,000 and some more, because if you upgrade them, you can get that 1.4 million in that same area, on that same lot, that same street that you grew up on.
Yeah.
And they're talking about even units now at 1.4 million. So as you talk about time, it doesn't have to be that 10 or 20 years. It's happening now. So that's the question. When are you going to call? When are you going to check in and say, wait a minute, I'm in this zip code? Because that's how they judged us so often, is we lived in certain zip codes. Now we live everywhere. We can live anywhere we want to live.
Well, Broadway just posted, he said, man, he got 45 properties now in Liberty City, in the city there. Brother. That's what you call a visionary. See,
that's my point.
You can laugh at him all you want to, but they laughed at Noah, right?
right. Hey, right. What you building, Noah? What is an ark? What is that?
See, the whole principle, and I just talked about real estate, but it's really anything that you do, TIME, you doing it over time, it's going to be better than when you first started. Anything that's worthwhile. And if you're building on something, if you're working on something, in 20 years, you should be better at it. You should know. You should be better. Your experience, man, is very, very valuable. And that's still wrapped in. You can't get experience in one day. That's still, there you go again. That TIME, the time. But let me tell you something. Most people who are not wealthy, they have something against time. They want to take the shortcut. Listen, even in the stock market, mutual funds, I have clients that their children were 1 year old, and they were just putting $200 a month away for that 1 year old child. Do you know 20 years later, that child is 20 years later, that child has $400,000. And that's just $200 a month. They go to the Funny Laughters concerts and spend that. Can you imagine? Do you know how much concerts costing right now? Do you think I will go spend $500 or $1,000 to see somebody sing for 2 hours when I can just go to YouTube or Facebook or whatever and be in that crowd and spend that money? That right there, that don't make a lot of sense to me. But
what? What's the but, Rob?
You are where you are because of your thinking. Every last one of us. We can't blame anyone
but us,
but ourselves. What I should have done, wish I would have done.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Man, that there. That's why a lot of wealthy people don't feel sorry or feel bad for people who make bad decisions, because all you have is your thoughts. That's the most powerful things. And if you don't personally know, you can find somebody who know. And most people who know, they're gladly to share the information with you. I'm telling you, gladly. Just love when somebody come to them and say, hey man, help me, show me. Oh man, thank you for coming, because that's very rare. You are where you are because of your thoughts and your actions, and you deserve to be wherever you are.
When I was program director, and would bring announcers in, right? I would always tell them this one thing in the meeting, first time they would arrive: don't leave here and not own a home. I said, I don't care where it. I don't know of any. Well, I didn't know at that time of any 1-bedroom houses, but I said, even if it's a 1-bedroom house, you're not buying the house, you're buying the land. I said, do not. Hey, when God, Bible tells us, when God put Adam on earth, he gave him dominion, authority, and territory. Territory. Rob, come on. And what we don't realize, I don't care what it costs today, as you say, in 20 years, 10 years, it ain't even 20 years no more. Based on location, Rob, it could be if you go to some of these commission meetings and know what's coming, or if you would check with some of, if you would check with Linda, you know, and find out, hey, where they're going to build that next, because you know what they're going to do, where they're going to build that next complex or whatever. Man, we've all lived in areas where if we went back there today, we wouldn't know the yard. We couldn't find that little yard that we played in, because now there's 17 stories, 8 stories, da 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 da. You know, come on, man. Hey, it's not a hard thing, but you've got to, as you say, you got to stop, think, seek, and knock, and say,
Yeah.
what can I do? That you own, that you own, what is the value? You know, and the value is not based on so much what you paid for it. It's what those people. I saw an article the other day where there's a company that bought, I think they said, so many. I don't know if it was 1,000 homes or 5,000 homes. They bought them at 300,000, Bob, a piece, and they sold them back to themselves. Say, venture capitalists, for 700,000. Now, do you know that those locations, for those people who are in fixed income, wherever they purchased them, what's the value now? And what does that value mean to your taxes? So if you're on fixed income and you did not check out the Henderson Financial Group, your taxes now is where you can't afford it. And there is someone asking, knocking, and seeking. You have not paid your taxes for the past 3 years. Do you know that your home is about to be auctioned based on your lack of paying your taxes? And do you know who owns that tax fee? We do. So we can help you out. We can give you some money, but you won't be able to buy or live where you are. And most likely you won't be able to live in the same area that you've lived probably all your life. So I spoke with a group and I told them, I said, I'll do anything I can to help people who live in a certain area and who look like us to, hey, don't loan them the money to pay their taxes. Make sure that their taxes are paid. Because if grandma, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, if they're not paying their taxes, hey, somebody's buying that tax deed. And, hey, you look around and that where you grew up and man, I can go back to the area that I lived in Jersey. And I'm saying, whoa, where did everybody go? Where, I can't, we used to play out, stick ball against the wall over there. There's no wall. There may be a mall and the malls are going to, what are they doing with the malls now, Robert? I understand that they're tearing malls down and building housing where malls were. So
Yeah, they
things
get
are
it. Real estate
changing.
is. Yeah, they look at real estate and they look at it and they evaluate and they analyze it for its highest
Yeah.
and best use. What could they do to make more money out of it per square foot? That's what they do.
Yeah.
They look at the
Ooh.
demographics, how the situation, has changed, who's moved in, who's moved out. So, and then they make decisions based on that. But before we go, I want to answer Islam. Islam, she posed a question here and she says, "Hi, Rob, is the NASDAQ different from the S&P 500? The S&P denied SpaceX listing, but the NASDAQ allowed it. Is there something to it? Okay, so because we almost got to go. So let me answer that. First of all, people who don't know what the NASDAQ is, it's an index. It says like the top 100 companies. Okay. And S&P 500 is the Standard & Poor's 500, the 500 top companies in the country. And those are just think of they're like clubs, entry level, where you can so I'll break it down to you like this, Islam, so you really understand this, and I'm gonna give you a vision. I'm speaking metaphors. So the NASDAQ, and I'm gonna use music so you can get this. I'm gonna use music. NASDAQ is rap music, R&B, quick, hip hop, fast. NASDAQ, a lot of the artists who you probably never heard of, or the Jay-Z's or whoever you have heard of, they would be on NASDAQ. So a lot of when you look at the BET Awards, you look at a lot of these award shows, and you hear artists that are winning. They got some new art. LMA or whoever, all these different young artists, they would be on the NASDAQ because they can go out to a concert. Rick Ross would be on the NASDAQ. They're when it comes to music, they're like just hip hop, rap, all this kind of stuff. A lot of people, older people, is not really listening to that kind of music. So, but that's on NASDAQ. Music, if I'm talking music, I'm using metaphor and example of NASDAQ. S&P 500 will be old school. That's, you hear some Aretha Franklin over there. You see some Commodores. Who else, James? You see some, who else, James? Help me out. Who else?
Hey, you can go all the way back. You can do some Luther. You can do some George Benson. You can go back. You can go back.
Right.
Four Tops.
Right.
Hey,
right.
Temptations.
Right.
Whoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it. Y'all got it. So S&P 500 only.
But they're proven. They're proven though.
Proven. That's that one. Now S&P 500 only deal with proven companies. McDonald's, Johnson & Johnson, Kellogg's, Procter & Gamble, IBM. Now, Microsoft and Apple are on both. They with the hip hop, they on NASDAQ and they on S&P 500 because they strong. Google is on both industries and indexes. They're in both clubs. They get admitted to the NASDAQ and they get admitted to S&P 500. Well, SpaceX, this whole thing that Elon Musk just came up, it's so new and it's not unproven. So the S&P 500 say you can't come in here. We the old guards. You got to prove yourself. So you got to go down there with the young kids right now because you new and we don't know how long y'all gonna be around. Maybe fly by night stuff. Y'all may be a one-hit wonder. So that right there is NASDAQ. Broadway, you're right. Coca-Cola is S&P 500. These are old, proven old guards. We know
Clorox. Hey, Rob, is Clorox on there too?
Clorox, S&P 500. You know what I'm saying? S&P.
John Deere.
John Deere, Caterpillar. That's S&P 500. They not on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is the up and coming, the fly by nights. You have Ludacris. Ludacris wouldn't be on S&P 500. He'd be on the NASDAQ. All of them, now Usher might could cross over. No, he might still be on the NASDAQ. You know what I mean? I don't know, but Usher been around a long time. He might be on both of them. You know what I mean? So a company that's been around for a long time, tried and true, that's NASDAQ. So SpaceX, with this new whole space adventure, going into space and everything space, S&P 500 say, not right now. These are only the tried and true companies. We'll put you down there with the NASDAQ. And so a lot of companies on there. Apple is on Google, Amazon is on both because they not only cater to the young, but they cater to the old. Apple not only cater to the young, but they cater to the old. Everybody got them. Google, everybody got them. So they own both indexes where you can buy their shares. Coca-Cola ain't on no NASDAQ. They've been around. Johnson & Johnson been around. Anheuser-Busch, all of them right there. Them companies been around. They're on the S&P 500. So just think of the S&P 500 is the old guards, the grown-ups, the wise ones, the tried and true ones. You know, young people don't want that. Young people want hip hop. They want rap. They want, you know, I don't even know some of the rap people. You know, Kodak Black. Cardi B is on NASDAQ. She won't be on S&P 500. You know what I mean?
In your analogy.
In my analogy. I just made so y'all don't know what the NASDAQ is or S&P. That's what it is. Kind of like clubs, membership clubs, where stocks can be sold. You follow?
And you're investing because I guess the one appears or believed to be the lesser risk of them going up here and crashing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Going up or crashing. You know, that it's but Rob, the questions that can be asked is, where are we and where are we going? That's a personal thing. Where am I? Where am I going? And what you need to do. Can I use help? If so, call the Henderson Financial Group, particularly with your finances. And now they don't just deal in finances as well. So under the Henderson Financial Group, they have health. My friend Antonio, there's a variety of things that you may need to ensure that you can make the best decision for your future.
Hey James, we just a client of ours that's in Nevada. He's been looking to buy some real estate. We told him last year, one time. We just found him a 2-family duplex in Columbus, Georgia for $180,000. And nice. He is so excited. He's a client. He's in Nevada. And we found a $180,000 duplex, man. Him and his wife is tickled pink. And guess what? Tavares is doing the financing because Tavares also is a mortgage advisor, a mortgage broker. So he does it right here. So he's a client. We already know his finances. This guy is getting ready to close on a duplex in Columbus, Georgia that pays for itself to go and give him tax benefits, write off, and cash flow. And he's young. I told him, listen, we're going to buy one every year, brother. I got several clients that buy them every year, some buy them every other year, but they're planting these seeds because they know the most important thing is what? T-I-M-E, time.
And if you don't believe it, hey, wherever you live, if it's been family and you've been there for years, go back and look at those records and find out what mama and grandmama paid. what? $10,000.
Time.
Okay.
Time. Hey, listen, man, I gotta go. Hey, James, we gotta go, man. We out of time now. But let the church say amen. Hey, James, we need prayer, bro. We need prayer.
Okay. Hey, all right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for listening. Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit. I made notes this morning, Rob, because I just had to do this. God, we ask that you will help us to realize not just whose we are, but who we are, that you have purpose for us to be an influence with kingdom culture on this earth, understanding the message and the mandate of Jesus Christ. Let us be masters of our thoughts. Let us create wealth through our belief and action. And let us also recognize, rather than AI, there is an I, infinite intelligence that can guide our steps so that we may provide and meet our needs as we build our wealth. Ooh, help us to identify every day and every night what it is that you have for us to do so that we can become all that you have created us to be. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Boy, that was a good one.
Amen. Rob, that's talk about that thinking. Rob, that thinking. Masters of our thoughts. You know, because we think about all kind of crazy stuff.
And James, when you ask God to help you be all you have created us to be, Are you
You got
ready? Are you
you got
ready? Are you now?
you
Be quick for what you asked for. Are you ready?
because you got to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be ye
You,
transformed by the renewing of your mind. Whatever it is that I'm thinking today, hey, I don't want to be thinking that tomorrow. I want to use what I learned today to be better tomorrow.
yeah. Hey, listen, I want to clear one thing up before we go. When I talked about the client that we have in Nevada, he's buying $180,000 duplex, double two families in Columbus, Georgia. He's not paying cash for that. He saved his money up. He's putting down 20%, which is $36,000. So first of all, you've got to make commitment where you got to have something. You got to have something in order to get something now. Hold on, let the church say amen to that. Stop trying to get, listen, the universal law says you can't get something unless you have something. You got to give something. If you want love, you got to give love. You know, I mean, you gotta give. You have to. That's the formula. You have to. You can't get green grass unless you give it water. You got to fertilize. You got to give it something. Man, first thing you got to give of yourself. And that's the problem. A lot of y'all take y'all money and give it to everybody else. No. You got to take your money. You got to plant a seed. That's given. Then you will get a result. You always got to do something first. So this brother and his wife, they saved up down payment $36,000 to buy this $180,000 duplex that's going to give them cash flow, give them tax deduction, and give them future prosperity. That's just one of them. So I don't want y'all thinking that how he got it for nothing. Stop trying. Let me tell you something. That's against universal law to try to get something for nothing. As a matter of fact, you cannot enrich yourself
Unless
without enriching others. Now, let me tell you, this guy is buying this duplex, put up down payment, 20% down, because it's not up, he's not going to live in it. So it's not like a FHA where you can put down 3% or 2%. No. He is going to actually, it's a rental property, so we're getting the tax deduction. We're going to set up an LLC for him. Tavares is actually doing the finance, so we qualify. He's already approved. It's going to pay for itself and give him cash flow. And that's going to be his first one, and it's going to grow in time. It's $180,000 today. But I tell you one thing, in 10, 20 years, it's going to be worth more than $180,000. That's the secret sauce. But you got to first have some. You got to get a cup. In order for your cup to run over, you got to have a cup. Some of y'all want y'all cup to be full and you ain't got no cup. Where your cup? Oh, I spent my cup. I ain't bought no cup. I don't have no cup. You got to have a cup. You got to have something to work with. You don't know nobody who got something for nothing legally. All right, that's enough, man. We got to go. much
have a
love
great
to y'all.
day, everybody. Happy Saturday. Oh,
Hey,
wait,
caller.
Rob, who you going for? I know you've been to New York, so did you become a Knicks fan while you were there?
You know, while I was in New York, yeah, man, them people was going crazy out there, man, all in the streets. And when I was in New York, they was going crazy. So I was a Knicks fan then, but honestly, James, honestly, I don't really have a favorite team. I just like to see good stuff. I like to see good.
Okay,
I just don't want them I don't want them referees to blatantly, call bad calls.
So you like the owners? You want a Game 7?
No, I know. I would no. Honestly, I would like to see the Knicks. They haven't won the championship in 52, 53 years. I would really like to see the Knicks win.
All right, good enough. That's enough. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to pick one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a favorite one. I like to see the good action. I just don't want to see a crooked game. I don't want to see a crooked game where they lying and cheating game to win. I don't like that. Even if the Knicks lie and cheat to win, then I'm gonna be going for the Spurs. I like, man, let's do the right thing. Just do the right thing. Get it fairly. Get it right. Get
Everybody
it right.
have a great day. May your team win, whoever it is.
May your team win. Much love to y'all. And be safe, okay? And start saving your money. Matter of fact, don't forget to call the Henderson Financial Group to set up your free reservations for that 52% annuity. If it don't work out, at least you have the reservation. If once I look at your personal strategy to see if it's good for you, I'll help you determine whether you should get it or just let the reservation just dissolve. But you should call, at least give yourself a fighting chance, especially y'all who are going to be retiring in the next year or 2 years. You definitely probably need to at least put in the reservation, because you can roll money over and get 50% more of your money that you have in your retirement plan. Okay. Much love to y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. and be safe. Peace, love, happiness.